Before continuing with this video, you need to be really comfortable solving quadratic equations where you are given them in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Now, some of these you can solve by factorising, but if you can't do those, you need to be able to solve them by completing the square or using the quadratic formula. Now, let's have a look at these. In the first case, we've got a bit of a problem. It's not quite in this form because we don't have a quadratic expression being set equal to 0. But actually, it's quite straightforward. All we need to do in this particular case is subtract 2x and subtract 16. If I subtract 2x and then subtract 16, the right-hand side becomes 0. And I can do the same on the left-hand side. In fact, I have to do the same on the left-hand side to keep this equation balanced. Remember, an equation is like a balance. If you adjust one side, you have to adjust the other side to keep it balanced. So what I've got now is x squared plus 13x minus 2x, so collecting those like terms, gives me plus 11x. And then I've got plus 46, but then I need to subtract 16. So that means I've got a plus 30, and this equals 0. Now, this is just a quadratic that you should be able to solve. Pause the video and see if you can do that. Hopefully you've spotted that this is simply x plus 5 multiplied by x plus 6, and that must equal 0. And from that we can tell that x equals negative 5 or x equals negative 6. Moving on to question B. Now this looks a whole lot trickier, because we don't even see an x squared. It doesn't look anything at all like ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. But there's only one step that we need to take here to turn it into something like we had in part A. And in this case, what we need to do is multiply both sides by x. So I'm going to show that by putting brackets around there and an x in front. If I multiply the left side by x, I need to multiply the right hand side by x. So what does that give me? Well, x multiplied by x plus 18, this is just expanding brackets now. We would have x squared plus 18x. That's our left-hand side. Let's think about the right-hand side now. X multiplied by 2x would give us 2x squared. X multiplied by 18, positive 18 there, would give us the plus 18x. And then x multiplied by minus 16 over x, or negative 16 over x, would give us minus 16 in this expression. Remember, this is just 16 divided by x, and if we multiply that by x, it just effectively undoes the dividing by x. So we're left with this 16, which of course is being subtracted. So now we've got something that looks a bit more like the first question. But what we need to do is get one side to equal 0. And I'm going to do that by subtracting the x squared off here, which means I need to subtract it off the right hand side too. And then I need to subtract 18x from the left, so I need to subtract 18x from the right. And if I do this, I end up getting 0 on the left. That equals 2x squared minus 1x squared. Remember the invisible 1. That just gives me x squared. Positive 18x minus 18x is just 0, so I have no x term, but I do still have this minus 16 on the end. So I've got to solve 0 equals x squared minus 16. Now I can factorise this, so 0 equals x plus 4 x minus 4. This is known as the difference of two squares. Now that this is factorised, I can write down the solutions. X is either negative 4 or x is 4.